Hey guys, it's Dan here from TableTennisDaily.co.uk. So today I'm with Tom. We'll be reviewing Butterfly's latest Tenergy 80 rubber. I'll be using the Timo Boll blade, the ALC.
And I'll be using the ZLC.
So we hope you enjoy our review, guys. First up, the Forehand Topspin. Me and Tom both found the Tenergy 80 series to be a little bit softer than the Tenergy 05. We were able to get good arc on the ball, and because it had a bit more control due to it being softer, I was able to generate a lot more spin.
I found I was able to use the Tenergy 80 close to the table and also away from the table, maintaining control and also the speed of the rubber. As you can see, even away from the table, the arc on the ball is very high and there's a lot of safety over the net.
When opening up, I was able to get a lot of rotation on the ball due to the grip on the rubber.
When backhand blocking against Dan's Forehand Topspin, I found the Tenergy 80 to have a really good control and yet still maintain a good speed.
The Backhand Topspin. When we did backhand to backhand, I was able to get a lot of control, there was a lot of dwell time, it felt really nice and comfortable, and we were both able to hit the ball hard and fast to each other consistently. We found the Tenergy 80 series to be very good close to the table. As you can see during my backhand topspin here, I'm able to grip the ball very well and having no problems taking the ball early. Even when we sped it up and Tom decided to do his backhand topspin, we were able to counter each other very easily, going at a fast pace.
As you can see from both the clips, Dan is comfortable with the rubber close and away from the table. We found that the Tenergy 80 was more suited to the backhand side as it was slightly softer.
Spin. The rubber can produce a tremendous amount of spin on the ball. We were very surprised. If you watch here, when I topspin the ball, you can see how much the ball soaks in and does generate a huge amount of rotation on the ball.
As you can see by this selection of shots, we both make errors due to the amount of spin on the ball.
Touch play. What I really liked about this rubber was how when I took the ball very early close to the table, I was able to get a lot of control. I could take the ball early, maintaining the spin and keeping the ball low over the net with no problem at all.
In comparison with other rubbers from the Tenergy series, we found that Tenergy 80 was probably the best close to the net for the touch play.
Flicks.
As the flick isn't a high rotation or spin shot, we found we had less margin for error with the Tenergy 80 than other rubbers from the Tenergy series.
However, we were still able to maintain a good flick. Using the modern backhand flick that a lot of players are doing, such as Dmitry Otrov and Zheng Zhai, we didn't have too much problems at all with the Tenergy 80. We found it very comfortable on the backhand side. Counter topspins. Initially when countering, the ball was drifting long and we were struggling to get the ball onto the table. However, when we adapted, we could counter strongly. Aggressive shots. As we mentioned earlier, we could generate a lot of spin on the ball, a lot of rotation. When we tried to really put a lot more power into our shots, there was no problem at all. So check out some of the shots here. The transition between spin and speed was very easy.
When we played the high spin shots, we found the Tenergy 80 very effective. However, when we wanted to play a more flatter stroke, such as the drive shot, we found we had a lot less margin for error and not as much control.
Serving. One of my passions in table tennis is serving. I found this rubber very good to serve. I was able to get a lot of pace when I was doing fast serves. I was able to change the direction with no problem, and I could hit the ball very fast on a hard contact. I found the rubber great for applying a lot of rotation on the ball when serving short. If we used the famous Marlin serve, the ghost serve for example, if you notice here I was able to get a lot of spin and generate a lot of backspin on the ball. Defense. I've had a lot of requests on the forum asking the Tenergy 80 axe when defending. Me and Tom are both offensive players, however Tom did try to test out to see how it does work. He was able to keep the ball very low to the table with quite a lot of spin. Conclusion. Firstly, I would like to thank Butterfly for providing TableTennisDaily with the Tenergy 80 rubbers to review. We certainly enjoyed reviewing them. The positives I found were that it was very good for my short game, it was very good for serving, and it was very good for generating a lot of spin on the ball in terms of using my forehand and backhand side. The sponge hardness is between Tenergy 64 and 05, and I do feel you get the best of both worlds in terms of spin and speed. And I do feel it's for the developing player, as you're able to generate a lot of spin and speed on the ball whilst maintaining control at the same time. I really like using the Tenergy 80 on my backhand side, and I do think a lot of players will start using it on the backhand. It's very good against backspin, it's very good playing hard, and it's very good using punching shots and very good for flicks. I found it's a very good rubber for the backhand. Personally, for those players who want to generate a lot of power on their forehand side, I think they'll stick to Tenergy 05 due to the rubber's hardness.
Overall, I found Tenergy 80 very good for the heavy spin shots, so opening up the long digs and stuff like this. But however, for the more aggressive shots, such as the drives and over the table harder shots, I found it a lot more difficult to control and a lot less margin for error.
You got a lot of control on these things.
Thanks for watching this playing review, we certainly enjoyed making it. Keep an eye out for our equipment reviews that will be shortly to come on the website very soon, and click the links below for more on Tenergy 80.